There's an ancient script that says, without a vision, we die. Consider what you dream about for your future, where you'd like to go, the people you'd love to meet, the amount of money you wish to earn, the skills you want to develop, and the influence and reputation you'd like to have. Ask yourself, if you aspire to be an entrepreneur, if you envision a successful management career, or if you simply want to be a more effective parent, reflect on the kind of impact you want to make on those around you and whether you'd like to influence the industry you're part of. The future holds a wide range of possibilities and accomplishments waiting to be pursued. These aspirations and dreams are what we call the promise of the future. It's this promise that gives life its excitement and purpose. Without these goals and ambitions, life might feel a bit less fulfilling. So take the time to envision what you want to achieve, and that's called the promise of the future. And without that promise, life becomes a little less worth living. If the promise is clear, we will pay the disciplines, we'll pay the price, we'll take the classes, we'll read the books, we'll learn the skills. So this is a key starting point, knowing what we're working towards. A big job parents have these days is getting kids to see the promise of the future, the different things they can do, and the opportunities that exist. You've got to have personal goals. You've got to have family goals. You've got to have worthy projects you would like to support, not just income goals. It's not just about wanting a nice home, a car, or clothes. To truly succeed, you need a variety of goals, and I like to call them reasons. Reasons are what make the real difference. When you have enough reasons, whether they're for your family, personal growth, or supporting meaningful projects, you can achieve remarkable things. So developing an appetite for all of these reasons is crucial, and they will be the driving force behind your ability to accomplish extraordinary feats. Well, a lot of the immigrants now that come to America from other countries have taught us some really important lessons. They're some of the fantastic students in school. For example, the Russians who moved to Israel are now leading in businesses and industries. They're super grateful for the freedom and opportunities they've got. What's interesting is they don't need special guarantees or someone to take care of them. All they need is a chance, an open door, and they're ready to climb the ladder and start something. And I think we've had it so easy in America for so long, and sometimes we might have lost that keen edge, that extra drive. And who knows, all the shake-up these last few years, the walls have come tumbling down. But in America, we need a whole new sense of personal drive, personal ambition. It means taking whatever we have, whether it's a little or a lot, and figuring out what we can do with it. If all we've got are pennies, then let's start with those. If things are tough and painful, we begin with the tough and painful stuff. It's about making the most of what we have, even if the chances seem slim. People in other countries where freedom has become a reality are embarking on this journey, and we can learn a lot from them. They're starting from scratch, just like some of us might be. They teach us not to wait for someone to give us something, but to create value with what we already have. It's interesting to hear stories about where people began, the challenges they faced, and where they eventually ended up. These stories often involve risks and difficulties, but that's what philosophy is all about. Human philosophy is to give us guidance to avoid the dangers and take advantage of the opportunities. Number one, to earlier recognize the dangers and also earlier pick up the opportunities and make something of them. But I find it astonishing to witness the spirit and potential within people. Even when faced with significant challenges, individuals manage to rise above and accomplish something admirable, powerful, and marvelous. This aspect of the human experience fascinates me, including my own actions and reactions. What exactly is this journey we're all on, living on this spinning planet? All these aspects intrigue me. But America, nationally, industries, business, corporations, commerce, companies, institutions, education, politics, all the rest involving human beings is an intriguing adventure. I think we need to be curious about it, how things work and how we can play our part in different aspects like family, community, being a good citizen, or excelling in our roles at work, whether it's in a company or as a salesperson. Curiosity. Develop an appetite for that and just start by saying, I'm going to ask questions and learn systematically. I'll become a better reader, improve my listening skills, and actively search for knowledge. Once you dive into this process, you'll discover something fascinating, and that curiosity can lead you to even more interesting things. Before you know it, you'll find yourself on an upward trend of growth and learning. To become valuable as a leader, to become valuable in articulating the challenge of the future, especially in global competition, we've got our work cut out for us. But it all starts right at home, being valuable as a teacher. The key word here is not to just be a teacher, but be a student teacher. It's the same for other roles. Don't just be a salesperson, be a student salesperson, and don't just be a father, be a student father. Whether you're leading a company, working in a corporation, participating in government, attending school, engaging with your community, managing your home, or leading a sports team like basketball or baseball, everyone can contribute by bringing better value. Imagine if each person brings an improved value to their team, family, business, or any place people gather. This way, we stand a good chance of competing well among the nations of the world. The possibilities for what we can achieve in the 21st century are exciting and endless. Best is to substitute a poor habit with a good habit. If you've got some bad habits, for instance, when it comes to your health, you can, with some good ones. My mom always said an apple a day. And my father will be 92. He's never been sick. I've never been ill. My children, my grandchildren, Mama taught us those simple, basic good habits of good health that we've followed all these years, and the results are truly remarkable. Let's say you have a habit like smoking that you want to quit. Instead of just trying to stop that habit, what if you started something positive? And you got so inspired about doing that, that inspired you then to start changing something that was negative? Success is looking at your own desires, considering your own possibilities, and then stretching yourself and seeing if you can become all that you can become, earning as much as you can, sharing all that you can share, make steady progress in that direction. To me, that's success. Imagine having access to books, classes, music, and ideals that could open up new possibilities for you. If you let those opportunities slip by, if you don't read the books, take the classes, or explore new ideas, that's a big loss. It's like having a wealth of knowledge and learning experiences at your fingertips and not feeling excited about it. This is where seminars, books, and messages like this one come in. They're reminders of all the incredible opportunities available to you. They're here to inspire and encourage you to make the most of what life has to offer. Instead of being negative, let's be grateful and reach out and appropriate what's available, and let it affect our lives now and in the future. As I study and explore, I'm amazed at the countless opportunities available to people. There's so many starting points, and the possibilities of where someone can begin and eventually go and what they can transform into are truly overwhelming. It's a journey full of potential and growth waiting to be discovered. Firstly, it's important to see that life is an incredibly exciting adventure. Once you realize that, you can start thinking about what you could achieve if I learned the lessons, adopted the disciplines, read the books, fed on the ideas like bread from my mind. What could I really accomplish? With the right mindset and skills, it's like unlocking the door to a world of possibilities and discovering what you're truly capable of achieving. I've got a good phrase: everything by longevity tends to get off course. It's like needing to refine things regularly, just like how we often need to check and adjust our course in life. People might say, hey, I've got plenty of money in the bank. I'm doing well, but might be some systems are not working. And failure to take a look at some systems that aren't working, you can get faked out by money in the bank. It's crucial to regularly inspect all aspects of our lives. An ancient script says the little foxes spoil the vines, and you look at this vineyard and it looks great, but it's got little foxes. And it doesn't matter if it's the president or the government or the company or the corporation or a millionaire or a billionaire. All systems need regular checks. So don't let too much time go by before you take a look and make sure all systems are working. Whether it's your health, your personal life, or the functioning of larger entities like corporations or the government, regularly checking and fixing things will benefit everyone in the long run. Starting with something simple, like my mom used to say, An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Good question for my audience today. What if that saying is true? That's true. That would be easy to do. But here's the challenge. What's easy to do is easy not to do. For example, let's say you should be walking around the block every day for your good health, and you don't. You're in wrong track. If you should and you could and you don't, it's a formula for disaster. But self-improvement is called starting with the most immediate thing that comes to your mind. Something you can do right away to enhance your health, life, income, or future. If it's as simple as having an apple a day, start there. If it's taking a walk around the block, start there. Maybe you need to build a personal development library. Go pick up a book and say, this is the beginning of my new library. Or perhaps attending a seminar is what you need. It could even be as simple as keeping a journal. The key is to start with something manageable and build from there. My teacher, Shof, taught me to keep a journal starting at age 25. It represents a major part of my library, my own journals. They hold notes I've taken, little poems I've written, and valuable things I've gathered over the years that are important for my business and my lecturing career. You can start with something small, like getting a journal or making simple changes like having an apple a day or taking a walk around the block. You know, it's not going to come in some great package out of the sky. It's about starting with little things called self-improvement, whether it's about your health or signing up for a class you've been thinking about but kept delaying. Neglect does us all in. Neglect has us by the throat, shutting off money supply, air supply, and every other supply. But if you reverse that process, and it doesn't matter what you start with, just say to yourself, I should, I could, I don't, I will. Now, say I should, I could, I will. And if it's an apple a day, start there, getting a journal, make an entry. Go get that next book of your thriving library. Sign up for that class you've been thinking about. You've taken the first step, and that's all you need to do. Begin the process, and the early return from those early steps will inspire you to start taking all the rest. I remember a time when I used to cross my fingers and say, I really hope things will get better for me. Then my teacher, Mr. Shof, he said, Mr. Rohn, for things to change for you, you've got to change. I used to wish that the economy would improve or my boss would change and become more benevolent. I hope that tough situations would magically disappear. But Shof said things aren't going to change. It's going to be like it's always been. But if you will change, everything will change for you. If you become better, everything else will get better. That's at the heart of the philosophy I've been teaching for years, and it's one of the best pieces of advice I've received. It's a promise he gave me. If you're willing to change, your whole world will change. But if you won't change, the next 5 years will probably be just about like the last 5. Here's the good news. At any moment, you can learn from the past 5 years and make the next 5 completely different by making some simple changes. Whether it's for your health, your income, being more valuable in your work, or achieving the things you want for yourself and your family. It all starts with those small, simple steps. Look over your plans. Maybe you've got too small the plans. By the time we're done here, you might decide to change some old plans, create new ones, or make sure your existing plan is well adjusted and carefully refined. It's something we should do regularly, almost like tuning a musical instrument. We need to keep revising, shaping, and refining our plans. This is something happening continuously, even as we talk. We should all do the same thing. I'm doing the same thing myself, fine-tuning my own plan, my own growth, my own development, fine-tuning my own skills. So take a look at your plans for the future, your plans for your family, your plans for your organization. Make sure they're in place. Now, make this quick list for us to really count on the future and to count on each other. Here's a good list. Morality, doing what's right. Let me share something I learned early in my career. It's crucial to keep in mind, no matter who you're working with, that you want things to turn out like this later. They should realize it was easier than you described and more than you promised. The essential rule here is it's better to say less than to say too much. Understating what you can deliver is more effective than making promises you can't keep. Here's the key: better understated than overstated. Here's what's next in the vocabulary for leadership for our future. is truth, to deal in truth. We're going to focus on speaking and building on the truth. It's all about being honest and transparent in our communication. Next is courage. When you're discouraged with 3 in a row who say no, just remember, let your courage now show to talk to the next 3. Because out of the next 3, 1 may be the person that helps you. The next one is responsibility. It's about accepting responsibility for our actions and choices. This means being accountable and taking charge. Next is courage, especially when you're feeling discouraged. If you face 3 rejections in a row, don't let it get you down. Instead, show your courage by approaching the next 3 opportunities. You never know, out of those 3, 1 might be the key to your success. It's about staying brave and persistent even when things seem tough. There are 2 types of courage to consider: public courage and private courage. Public courage is when you face challenges or make decisions when others are around. Private courage, on the other hand, is when you find the strength within yourself. It's about making resolutions and deciding to make changes even when no one else is watching. Here's the next one, courage to change. The courage to change, it's something I'm personally working on, and it involves having the courage to be silent at times when it's more beneficial to listen than to talk. This means finding the strength to hold back from speaking and instead paying attention to what others are saying. It's about understanding that sometimes the most courageous thing to do is to be quiet and listen, allowing for better communication and understanding. Here's a big one, courage to forgive. It's a big deal because it involves finding the strength to let go of resentment and move forward. Another crucial trait is the courage to compromise. This means being willing to give a little and I'll give a little, so that together we can figure things out. It's about finding solutions by working together and finding a middle ground that benefits everyone involved. Here's the next one, courage to risk. Life is all about taking chances, not unreasonable risks, but calculated ones. It's like the process of planting seeds in the spring if you want to harvest in the fall. To get results, you must be willing to invest your time and take a leap of faith. It's about understanding that some level of risk is necessary to achieve the rewards you desire. My grandkids and my family often ask me, why do you choose to spend a day with people in Hawaii instead of with us? It's a good question, and I need to provide them with some excellent reasons. And then when I see them shortly, they will ask me, was it worth it to go spend the day with them and not with us? So deciding how I use my time and how you decide to use yours is really crucial. It takes courage to make wise decisions about how to spend our time. It's all about finding a balance and making choices. Have the courage to make those wise decisions. Next, one important thing to remember is to always keep your word. What you promise, make sure you fulfill. Another key point is admitting your mistakes. Sometimes you've got to admit them publicly. Sometimes you've got to admit them with each other. Here's the big one, to admit them to yourself. And then here sometimes this could be some of the greatest new beginnings, is when you say, I'm sorry. It's a chance to start all over again. Next is faith. It's about having faith in others, having faith in your family, and a big one, having faith in yourself. Believing in the people around you, trusting your family, and most importantly, having confidence in your own abilities are crucial components of this concept. Powerful reminder that faith can be a driving force in building strong connections and achieving personal growth. Now, here's something unique to consider. A touch of humility. The rich must be taught not to be arrogant. The poor must be taught not to be cynical. This principle encourages everyone, regardless of their situation, to approach life with a sense of modesty and openness. It's a reminder that humility is valuable for everyone, regardless of their wealth or circumstances. By embracing this touch of humility, we can create a more harmonious and understanding world. Next, work with the people who deserve it, not the people who need it. It's about choosing to invest your time and energy in those who genuinely appreciate and benefit from it. This principle has had a significant impact on my journey, and it might just do the same for you. Now, here's my final thought. Hey, start with something simple. Keep adding value to your life, and you can achieve extraordinary things. And why not you? If you know a boy from the farms of Idaho. And if we had a parade of American success stories here, each of them would say the same thing. Why not you? We all started with nothing. Why not you? You know, we started behind. Why not you? If we can do it, you can do it. That's my message.